What's up? What's up? What's up, SteelersNation? What is happening? Hope you guys don't mind me putting lotion on my skin. You know, gotta keep your skin moist, guys. Gotta keep your skin moist. The women will tell you that. The ladies will tell you that, right, ladies? Tell them. So I keep a bottle of lotion right here at my desk because you never know. You look down and your skin is not as desirable. Put some lotion on. Well, what's happening, SteelersNation? How you guys doing, man? Welcome to the latest episode of Terrible Towel Tuesday. I am your host, SimFBallCritic, live from the Steel Basement, aka the virtual Heinz Field is back. Let's say this early. 619-924-0818. I want to hear from you guys tonight, you guys and gals. I don't know if we've ever had a lady call. Of course, we've had our ladies of the SteelersNation do their own show, but I don't know if we've ever had a female caller. Have we, guys? On a weekly basis? I'm not sure. But I invite everyone again, 619-924-0818. Tonight is your night. So I'm going to dive right into the little bit of stuff that I'm going to get into. It's a lot. It's a lot of things I kind of want to discuss, but then we will open it up for phone calls. I see that we actually already have a call in the queue already hanging in there. So gear up, get ready. I want to hear from you guys. Tonight is your night. So, all right, let's jump right in, man, and say what's up to the early commenters. Mr. Winningham, how you doing? Good evening, sir. Glad to see you. Happy to see you. Cutboy 412, Brent Fox, Football Mind, Sonic and Pokemon. Patrick Lodge, Rajon 39, Tony Barnes, the real Missy. How you doing, Miss Lady? Thank you for coming through tonight. We know we always appreciate the lovely ladies in the chat, so thank you for coming by. Eric McDuffie. Who else we got? Armand Bozeman, Vista Light, Charlie Brown, my good buddy Ron Simpson Gaming is in the building. A sincere review. Hunter Johnson, Young Rider 93. Hello, Miss Odessa. How you doing this evening? Thank you for coming by and spending time with us. We appreciate that, Miss Lady. Who else we got? Kevin Brockenbarrow. Okay. I went to school with some Brockenbarrows. Or maybe, I don't know if theirs was Barrow. I think theirs was Brow, but it was very similar to how you spell your name. So that's kind of how I knew kind of how to pronounce that. But what's going on? Relfax, Dietrich Bundick. What's going on? Jordan Mid, what's going on, brother? Hello, Miss Debbie. How you doing, Miss Debbie? Thank you for coming by, Miss Debbie. You know we appreciate your presence. Appreciate you coming through. All of the lovely ladies, man. And we got Dan, Matt, Carmichael, the sports guru, Sebastian Sanchez. And we'll end it right about there. Right about there. So, all right, guys, let's get into it. And actually, let me send the link out to Kenyon and Tony as well. I realize sometimes the good brothers are not at home. So I should probably send those brothers a link as well. But all right, man. So where I'm going to go with my commentary. First thing I'm going to talk about here tonight. Ooh, I see we got them calls in the queue. There you go. There you go. Line them up. I'll be with you guys shortly. First thing we want to talk about is the injury watch. Guys to watch. And of course, you know, this is the information that we got from Mike Tomlin's press conference. Robert Spillane is dealing with a knee and could probably be classified as out. That is interesting. That is very interesting, and I'll talk about it a little bit later. But understanding how some of you guys and some of us are feeling about Devin Bush's play, emphasis on his play. You know, some people are just ready to throw that dude in the trash and they're done with him. I'm judging him based off of how he's playing this year after that injury. That's the way I'm judging him. That's just my personal opinion. But that's going to make it interesting, man, if Spillane can't go. And, you know, I'll talk a little bit about that in a moment. Muth. Didn't know this. Freiermuth is in concussion protocol. So, man, I really hope Freiermuth, first and foremost, is healthy. Again, it's not always about my personal bias and love for the team, wanting him on the field. I only want that man on the field if he's healthy. So I'm more concerned with his health because, again, concussions happen all the time, guys, but concussions is definitely not a good thing. You know, there's no evidence to say it's a good thing. So I wish him well in his health there. So, if he gets back on the field, great. If not, then, I'm not going to criticize that at all. Joe Hayden hopefully will work this week. We know he's dealing with a foot injury. Kuntz, I forget the kid's first name, but the long snapper has a hip injury. And I think he went down during the game. So I didn't keep track of who the long snapper was. When I really dive into the All-22, maybe I'll pay more attention to that. I did kind of look at the game again, but I didn't go into my All-22 yet. Usually, man, again, the All-22 guys, for those of you that don't know, you guys who are members to the channel who I give that exclusive content to, they hear me complain about it every week. It is horrible. You guys may have seen me discuss it with Alex Kazor. It is horrible. I don't know why they decided to change the format. It is horrendous. I see people complaining all the time. And, Alex was saying that, you got to get the international version in order for it to be, similar to what it was. And also, him and Dave, of course, with those guys being more classified as, I'm not even going to disrespect them by saying media, because they're not media to me. But them being in that space and, a real respectable, website and all, they have another means of getting, game footage. That's why a lot of times you see Alex posted it extremely early. So he told me it's a combination of some film that they are able to acquire as well as the international version. But guys, the current All-22 is just Jesus. The NFL should really be ashamed of themselves. But sorry about that. But I went off on a tangent there. But yeah, I guess I'll check it out more closely to see who might be the long snapper in his absence. But it is definitely something to keep an eye on. Tomlin said, he'll be limited, but he expects him to still, I guess, be able to play. We'll see. But then the big one, guys, TJ Watt. I mean, I did an independent video on it yesterday. TJ Watt is on the COVID-19 list, and he's in COVID protocol. And, I'll talk a little bit about that as well before I end the show. But, I guess at this point, if he's vaccinated, they're saying, if he's vaccinated, he has to get 2 negative tests before Sunday in order to play. And if not, I don't know. I guess the rules change because I hear people all the time say if someone is vaccinated. So I guess the rules are different if you are not vaccinated. But either way, that's not a good look. Okay? It's not a good look. Definitely not. If you think about Ben Roethlisberger and him not being able to be ready that following week, same with Minka, then you can almost anticipate TJ Watt perhaps may not play. So there you have it. But here's some other things, guys, to get into, man, in terms of the I just saw another one of the lovely ladies, man. I just peeked over there and saw it. Hello, Miss Lanisha. How are you doing, Miss Lady? I appreciate you coming by and hanging out with us and the rest of the ladies tonight, man. Always appreciative of you guys' participation. And thank you as well, Lanisha. You sent a donation today outside of YouTube. Really appreciate you, man. As much as you guys say y'all appreciate me, you got to believe me when I say it's likewise. Because as much as you guys appreciate what I do and enjoy the content, there isn't no content and there is nothing to what I do without you all viewing it and supporting. So the feeling is mutual. And that's the reason why I don't ever classify you guys as subs. I think that's such a lame term. You guys are supporters, extended family. You know what I mean? We're family here. I'm no bigger than anyone else. I just happen to be the one that's talking. That's how I view it. But all right, a couple things I wanted to mention, man, from Tomlin's presser. He mentioned that there will be some changes made. He said it could include personnel or some schematic changes. Now, we'll see. He said they won't be drastic, but it should be significant. That's what he said. So we shall see. And what those changes are, I guess we'll find out on Sunday, and maybe we'll be able to analyze it, after the game. But, clearly they know that there's an issue, just like we do. It still baffles me, man, how these couch coaches or couch GMs or these professionals from their couch or from their chair, like I'm sitting in, how we seem to think we know more than an NFL level GM, an NFL level coach. Like, people literally act as if we can see the problem, but the team doesn't. And that's just nutty to me. So we'll see. We can only take what he's saying, what he's saying. That's the only thing we can do is take what he's saying, and we'll see if there's any changes. Tomlin also stated They have a limited number of padded practices that they are allowed. All teams. He said that. He said all teams. And I wrote here, gloating a little bit. I wrote here, I said, which is something I have stated at least 100 times on this show. So let me just give a sidebar really quick. Again, say what you will about the head coach, the coaching staff, any coach for that matter, on any team. But let's just talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is why, again, you will never get me to dive into the notion of tackling not being good because the coaches don't teach it at the NFL level. Because it says right here, out of his mouth, which we already knew. If you've been following football long enough, you would have known that. This is a global thing per the NFLPA. They can only have a limited number of padded practices, which means every single team in the NFL has the same capabilities or their allowable occurrences in which they can tackle. There's no advantage for any team. And we all know that the Pittsburgh Steelers have been known for having a very physical camp. We all know that. Backs on backers. So, again, if you gonna ride down that road and say, oh, it's the coaches, they don't tackle in practice, they can't. And like I said, if you're in the NFL and you're needing a coach to teach you tackling techniques, I don't know what to tell you. Oh, yeah, actually, I do know what to tell you. You know what they say what the NFL stands for? Yeah, not for long. And that will be you if you don't know how to tackle by the time you get to the NFL and you are a defensive player. I'm just saying. We see punters make tackles. So I'm just saying. All right, let's get back on track here. Tomlin also emphasized the effort. He said effort would produce more physicality. Now, I jotted this down because you know how I always say, man, again, I speak about Tomlin because he's our head coach, but there's a lot of coaches that you can take this from. You know how when you listen to what they say and they don't want to give you too much, but they kind of tell you what they're saying, like if you read between the lines. I know that comment right there is specific to certain people. Specific to certain people. Think about that. You on the defense, all right? Or offense. Because physicality goes both ways. Your coach says, oh, what could make us more physical? Effort. That says a lot. It says a whole lot. Effort. He's calling out specific players. And I agree. I continue to say I think it's more execution than anything else. That's just what I believe. Because again, when you're at the NFL level, man, like I always say, head coaches sometimes get too much credit and sometimes they get too much blame. We're supposed to, in my opinion, you're free to do it the way you want to, but I really believe that you're supposed to judge coaches on things that they coach. Coaching management is different from player execution. So I tend to believe these things that I hear from NFL coaches, the stuff that they say. I mean, I hear a bunch of coaches say that we got to be more physical. It ain't just Pittsburgh, but I believe that. I believe it's truly effort and execution once you're in between those white lines. But I'm just pointing out stuff that he said. He says he will challenge the team to be physical. He put more emphasis on one-on-one battles, getting out of the trenches, getting off of blocks. That's what he said it. They got to win one-on-one battles. One-on-one battles, that's player on player, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, that's player on player. Of course, he did acknowledge that, and he says this each and every week. And that's why I personally don't make so much out of what Mike Tomlin says in his press conferences. Because like I said, even if you're in here watching and you're not a Steelers fan, you probably could say this about your team, right? You probably hear, what's his name, Dan Campbell say this about Detroit, right? They say the same stuff. And the reason why I don't put so much stock into the day-to-day stuff that they talk about is because, for one, they're not going to tell you everything. A lot of this stuff is going to be surface answers. But, I mean, some of this stuff is clear. It should be clear as a fan. And he laid it out right there. One-on-one battles. We have to win those battles. We have to be more physical. And that can go on either side of the ball because that's where the Steelers got their butts kicked on both sides of the football was in them trenches. Plain and simple. And like I said, where I was going with that, I went off my point for a second, but the point I was making, they say that we got to coach better and play. They say that every week. Every coach says that every week when they lose. So I don't put so much stock into that, but I do believe there are some little changes that I'm sure they could make here and make there as far as schematics and personnel. That's coaching. And whoever's responsible for all of that, I'm putting the blame on. And matter of fact, I'm going to get to that in a moment too. Actually, I'm going to save that for after the phone calls. I'm going to end the show right around there. What I'm talking about is this. I'll tell you in a second. He also mentioned that he felt like James Pierre couldn't shake off the warts that he were having in that game. That's interesting. I know he's young, but one of the things I liked about James Pierre is it seemed like he didn't blink. It seems like he didn't blink. And you've heard Joe Hayden say, he keeps him engaged and all of that. And remember that game? He ended up winning the game for us essentially with the interception. He had got beaten that game, and then he came back, got the pick in the end zone. That's what I liked out of him. So I am a little concerned if the struggles that he was having, he couldn't shake those off. And again, young players going to go through that. So I'm not saying that, he's a bum, because people saying that already too. Did he hurt us in that game? Did he play bad? Did he have a bad game? Sure he did. But I'm telling you guys, I'm not a flip-flopper. In fact, and some of y'all might laugh at this, I don't even wear flip-flops. I might wear, what do you call that? Like the slides. I wear like the Nike slides, your whole foot going. But I don't do traditional flip-flops. So how could I ever flip-flop, in my opinion? That's just the MC in me, man. I'm always using these metaphors. But, yeah, y'all crazy, man. I see some of y'all throwing that boy in the trash, but y'all was saying how much potential he has. See how fast y'all get off of players? But, yeah, I am concerned if he really couldn't shake it off. Really concerned about that. Now, here's what I'm going to talk about in the latter half of the show, after the calls. Why didn't anyone ask about that report that Aditi put out there? Did you guys see that? There was a report going out, Aditi Kinkinwala. Hopefully I said your name correct, Miss Lady, because regardless of the way we feel about you or don't, I'm going to respect your name, respect you as a woman. But let me say this about Aditi. Aditi always seems to try to stir up dirt. I don't know why. And I don't know if it's, because some people are going to say, she hates the Steelers. I don't know. I mean, I don't know her motive, but it always seems like she's just that type of reporter. She tries to dig up dirt, scratch the dirt. But what is interesting to me is none of them reporters asked her about, not her, asked Tomlin. No one in the press conference asked about the report of Keith Butler. Listen to this. Aditi claims per a source that Keith Butler has never called defense since he's been in Pittsburgh. And nobody asked about it. She was there. She didn't ask about it. And I'm like, and this is where I have to agree with Alex Kazor and Dave Bryan. They always say on their podcast, man, I wish there was somebody in there to ask some real questions. I want to know that. I would want to have asked Tomlin, and maybe if it's true, he probably would have found a nice way to talk around it, but I still would have asked. No one asked. And let me tell y'all this, and I'm going to come back to this at the end of the show. What if it's true? Then you know who I have a problem with the way the defense has been run? Mike Tomlin or Terrell Austin. You see how I don't have any bias when it comes to my critiques for coaches? Let that report be true. And I have a huge problem with the way how the defense has been constructed and how we stay in the same thing quite often. I also give credit when it's due, because what we cannot forget, whether it's Butler, I wanted to do this later, but I'll say a little sprinkle of it here. what we cannot forget is over the last 5 years how our defense started improving and became a solid defense. We got to give credit there too. We got to give credit to Butler if it was him or Tomlin if it was him. But what is it that I say every time, even when we win? I always say my biggest issue with our defense has been mostly situational defense. But anyway, I'll get back to that. I wanted to talk a little bit about Chase Claypool's. He's probably just joking around, guys, where he says that he wished there was more music at practice. Chase, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. I just got on you after the game and called you into the office for how you seem to drop the money balls. Now you want to have fun at practice? Listen, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, folks. Maybe it was tongue in cheek. But if there was any validity to that, nah, bro, that ain't what you need. You need to focus on executing. And shout outs to Cam Hayward, man, for coming out and shutting that down. I love that dude. This is the reason why I have Cam in the thumbnail. Cam is the heart and soul of this Pittsburgh Steelers team right now. Some people could say Ben, but and I'm not discrediting Ben. I think a lot of you guys could make the argument that I'm making. Cam Hayward is the heart and soul of that Pittsburgh Steelers team. He is the epitome of what Steelers football is. For you guys who are from Pittsburgh, y'all will probably say he is the epitome of what Pittsburgh is about. Even me not being from there, just understand this is how much of a fan I've been all over the years. I understand that Pittsburgh culture. That's Cam Hayward. I mean, hey, the kid's from there. He embodies it. He's it. TJ Watt right now, most talented defensive player for the most part. You can make an argument. Some of y'all might not agree with me. You can make an argument that Minka is as talented. But TJ, by far, has been the best defensive player, right? But nobody embodies it. Nobody embodies that culture like Cam Hayward, bro. I'm sorry. And he could only do but so much. So, the last thing I wanted to say really quick. Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to save this piece. Let's say it now. Let's say it now because I'll probably bring it up later too. Vince Williams' comments about Devin Bush, man. In a nutshell, he basically said people are using him as the scapegoat. I tend to agree with that. Has Devin Bush played well? No, he has not. I've sat right here on this show and said that. I'm saying it right now. Devin Bush is a shell of himself. I don't know if it's mental. I don't know if it's physical. I don't know if it's all of the above. Probably all of the above. And I still don't want to throw him in the trash. Kid is 23 years old. He's essentially playing his second season right now. He deserves us giving him some time to prove that he can be back to what he once was, coming off of this catastrophic injury. Now, am I opposed to giving him less reps? No, I am not. I was actually, let's give this to the coaches. You know, we don't ever want to give coaches credit when they do something right? I love the fact that, let's say Tomlin, because again, I'm going to act like I don't know none of this stuff. I don't know who does what. But I'm assuming it was Tomlin who pulled him. Y'all remember that, right? He got benched earlier in that game. That first run by Mixon on their first possession, did y'all see that? I think I put up a clip of it on Twitter. Devin Bush, bro, you got to do a better job than that. Then you get the offsides penalty, and coach yanked him. And Spillane came in, but then Spillane went down. So I got to give the coaches credit for that. So just because I know he could be dealing with something, struggling with something, it doesn't mean that I don't want to give someone else a shot right now. Because Devin Bush at this moment is not helping the defense. Period. He's not. But that doesn't mean he can't bounce back next year or what have you. It's just, or even later in the season. I don't know. I mean, ain't much season left anyway. But he's not helping right now. The main thing Tomlin talked about today, which I wholeheartedly believe this is most of the issue, fundamentals and execution. He's not doing it. And quite a few other guys are not doing it. Out, not in the right gaps, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting, man, with Spillane if he can't go. You know, do we bring a Buddy Johnson or somebody in? I mean, I know he might not be ready, but I don't know. We shall see. But all right, man, let's get to the phone calls. I told you guys, man, the Tuesday is really for y'all, man. Let's get into the phone calls. Listen, we have a bunch. And guys, I have to say this before we even get started. Y'all got to keep the calls short, man. Some of y'all do a great job of it. Some of y'all, if I'm being honest and frank, some of you guys do not. So I'm going to say it now. If the call goes too long, I'm going to just have to mute you and we'll catch you the next time. And the only reason why I'm doing that, guys, I have to set a precedence or a standard because, again, I am one who sees the future. I predict maybe this little show of mine gets bigger. Maybe it's a point where there's 25 calls in the queue, 30. I would like to get to as many as I can, but I can't do that if every call is beyond 2 minutes. I can't do it. Right? And also, I can't spend my whole night here. I have a life, I have a wife, I have a son, I have a balance. I can't just sit here all night. So come on, guys, let's do better. I promise I will do as well as you guys with my quick responses. I'll pick one or two things that you're talking about, give you my reply, and we on to the next one. Deal? Don't be the one that gets muted, because then we all in the chat are gonna go ha 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 ha. Y'all don't want to hear this, right? Hold on.
2-minute warning.
And you definitely don't want to hear this.
Time's up.
So, all right, man. First up. Oh, by the way, let me say this as well. Shout outs to Build His Life. The music that you're hearing in the background, man, he sent me a message, left a comment, said he really likes this beat. And he suggested that, maybe I should just play the one beat throughout the duration of the show. He kind of compared it to, like, if any of you guys have ever watched Kevin Samuels, Kevin Samuels has kind of like a theme song and he plays it at the end of the show. I don't know if I'll do the end part so much, but I'm cool with that. I had actually thought about doing that. And what I probably will do, man, is every now and then I will rotate the music. But, to keep it clean, keep it consistent, it'll just be one background song or music that'll be playing. Because also what it does is it keeps the levels right. Because I've noticed that, again, guys, I'm a perfectionist in certain areas. I don't have everything mixed and mastered. So I've noticed that sometimes one song is way too loud and sometimes another song is too low. So this will help out with that. So, all right, let's do it. First up, we have area code 951. What you got for us?
Hey, thanks for having me on, man. I'll make it quick. I just got two things I want your opinion on. So the first thing is, when it comes to the defense and the defensive backs in particular, when I was young, I've been watching the Steelers since Chad Scott days. I don't know if some of the callers or you remember Chad Scott, I think it was like Don Flowers way back in the day. Yeah, man. So my question is it seems like when the Steelers get to the point where they select or draft or sign for agency defensive backs, it seems like they get guys, and then when they try to plug them into the scheme that they run on defense, it just doesn't seem to work. And what I mean by that is, I'm not trying to knock James Pierre and those guys. So these guys are young, and I think, especially James Pierre, I think he's going to have the possibility of a bright future. But when are we going to get guys in there that are known for covering guys? I know Steelers back in the day with the 3-4 defense would get guys that can tackle, which is important, don't get me wrong. But we're getting into the days now where we got teams that are spreading us out with the tight ends that are running, 6'4", 4'4" speed. We need corners and nickel corners that can cover. You know what I mean? So my question is, and your opinion on this, does it seem like the Steelers defensively, especially when it comes to defensive backs, if they haven't got caught up with the times, going out there and spending the money, signing guys like the Stephon Gilmores. I'm using him as an example. I know I'm not saying he's the greatest, but spending money on those guys to help with the secondary for sure, right? And then the second comment I have is when it comes to Matt Canada and the offense, I know I'm reading the blogs, I'm reading the comments. Everyone wants to fire Matt Canada, man. It's his first year in. I actually remember back when we wanted to fire every single offensive coordinator when things were going bad. But when the Steelers, when the Steelers scored 37 points, there's no credit given. But when the Steelers scored 10 points, they want to fire everybody under the sun. So I just think offensively, this offseason, I know we have a little bit more money. Let's see what they do in free agency, hopefully, in the draft, and give Matt Canada a chance, especially with Big Ben. I'm not saying he's going to be gone for sure, and I don't want to say I hope he is, but I hope
2-minute warning.
Mobile quarterback under there that Matt Canada can do some things with, because I truly feel you give him a mobile quarterback that has a little bit of accuracy, he can do some things. So that's all I got, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thank you for calling. Great comment. And I see the people in the chat was keeping track of you. They said 2 minutes. But yeah, man, I'll be quick and brief, because if I'm going to tell y'all to be brief, I have to as well. I definitely agree with what you said about the coverage thing. And it's funny when you think about it. It's not too many corners that we can really think about over a 20-year period that we had great covermen. I did eventually like how Ike Taylor played. He was physical and seemed to do his thing on AJ Green and all, but Steelers definitely haven't been known for having cover guys. And you're right about the offensive coordinator, man. Listen, I'm one of those people that feel like organizations get rid of coaches too fast, too soon. Give them time. Give them time to prove that they just can't get better, and also give them the personnel that they need. It's not really fair to judge Matt Canada. We can critique him, but we can't be ready to fire the dude after 1 year as Ben Roethlisberger's his quarterback. That's not a knock to Ben. I'm just saying, we know Ben's style. We know how he plays. That wasn't going to change. So yeah, I'm with you. Thank you for the call, though, man. Really appreciate that. Next up, area code 803, Mr. Winningham. How you doing tonight, sir?
Good evening. I hope everybody's doing well. Well, you kind of shocked me about that one, about the Keith Butler not calling the defense. I don't know whether I buy into that or not. I just really the first time I've heard of that. But, the one thing listening to the show Sunday, yes, I question a lot of the personnel moves that we made. We took a big gamble on Zach Banner this year. I still have not yet him play a lot of time. And we all know Big Ben, he has whatever style of leadership it is. We all know Cam Hayward is the locker room. But my thing is, we need some people on the offensive side of the ball to have leadership, and that's something we just haven't seen a lot of. But going forward, last part with Devin Bush, we used to seeing Polamalu and Ryan Chazier play 100 miles an hour. We have not seen Devin Bush use playing 100 miles an hour on the field. He's almost looking mechanical out there. So I have to say maybe 50% physical, but it has to be a lot mental as well. Thank you so much. I hope everybody have a great evening.
Man, Mr. Winningham, definitely thank you, sir. Always appreciate you. You definitely know that. Yeah, man, that's the report from Aditi Kinkembwala. And like I said, I felt it was strange that no reporter asked about that today. Not even her. That's interesting. But I don't know if we'll ever know the answer to that. I find it very hard to believe, though. I really do. So, but yeah, man, you're right about Devin Bush. And again, this year, this is the reason, guys, why I'm saying he's tentative. He's not get there and go, He's not doing that. We saw him play more with his hair, his head cut off in his rookie year. Understandable. We saw him looking like he took a minor step towards improvement before he got hurt last year. So again, the injury probably plays a big part of it, but we're definitely not seeing that physical component and even not the mental component. And that's why I said, man, I'm willing to give him another year, of course, but he's hurting the team right now, man. We cannot deny that. Next up, area code 214. What you got for us?
Hey, Sam, this is Brent Fox calling from Dallas, Texas, man. I'll be brief. I just want everyone, and I know I'm beating a dead horse saying this all the time, I want everyone to now view realistically what this team actually looks like. Unfortunately, there are just things that are out of place that are just not going to make it our year this year, okay, for whatever reason. The other thing, and more importantly, is this. Anyone coming with racially charged comments or anything like that, please know and understand that there are subscribers here that will protect what they love by any means necessary. Thank you, Sim, for giving us a voice. And thank you again. Bye.
Man, Brent, man, thank you so much, man. I love that last part right there. And it might have went over some of y'all's heads, man. But Brent, I really appreciate that. That's what I'm saying, man. We a unit over here, man. And I might be the one doing the talking. It might be my show, quote unquote. But there is no show without you guys. So I really appreciate what you just said right there. But yeah, man, I mean, look. If we just come together as fans and see the reality, man, it'll be such a much better conversation, right? We're just not it right now. And hey, the Steelers could magically go on this run and win the next 5 games. They could. I don't know. But this ain't the team. This is not Stairway to 7, man. It's just not. And this team is going to have up and downs. Remember, Ben said it at the beginning of the season. There's going to be ups and downs. He said it. He wasn't just talking about that offense. This man been around long enough to know exactly what's going on. He knows his level of play. Believe it or not, he knows. So that's all. Just be objective, man. See Antoine Hill, man. Thank you for the donation. Round of applause. He said, I would like to hear your beats on Madden. Man, that would be great, man. We're going to see. We're going to see. You know, I kind of asked about that earlier in the year, but, you know, they don't use instrumentals as much anymore. A lot of times they use real bona fide songs with lyrics on them, but appreciate that. Let's see. Who we got next? Area code 609. What you got for us?
What's going on, SimFBallCritic?
Good. What's going on, man?
As much as I want to say it, man, season's over, man. I think this might be Mike Tomlin's first ever losing season.
Yeah.
And that just shows how great of a coach Mike Tomlin is, man. 15 seasons without a losing season, like that is rare. And I think honestly, we definitely need to, close this season up because the injuries, the up and down of the season and stuff, the inconsistencies and all that extra stuff. I think it's time that, we won't see, the seventh ring, unfortunately. But I think that this will be good because now we're going into a new era because we've got pieces to work with. And not only that, we have so much more cap money this upcoming off season. And then you got the draft, which means we'll have better position to draft the best player available, in my opinion, since we have so many holes to address, not only in the draft, but in free agency. But to all the Steelers fans, we're just spoiled. We just got to let this sink in. We just got to accept the reality. We just got to accept the fact that, hey, I think dark days might be ahead of us. And, we just got to be blessed that we didn't have to experience numerous rebuilds or dark days like other franchises have. But that's all I got, and thanks for taking my call. So.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate the call as always. And listen, like I said, I will not debate anyone about whether they hate or love Mike Tomlin. But I don't care who you are. I don't believe you could be a bad coach and not have a season under 500. I just don't believe that happens. I'm sorry. He must be doing, and we haven't had talent for 15 years that carried him. I'm just saying, man. Listen, sometimes you just got to appreciate what's happening at the organization. I know we all want a championship. I know the playoff record in the last, 7-8 years don't look good. Yeah, you're right. That's a critique. The same way I used to look at Marvin Lewis and say, yo, bro, how you ain't won a playoff game? It's fair. But there was a stint where that, for some reason, he had Cincinnati in the mix. You know what I mean? And then it just fell apart. But that's all I'm saying. The fact that people are saying this could be the first losing season, as an organization, man, and as a fan, you got to kind of appreciate that. that we expect the Steelers to be there all the time because of, what they have in place, the continuity. I mean, I'm just saying. All right, area code 810. What you got for us?
Hey, what's going on, Sam? It's Black Hawk, man.
Hey, what's going on, Hawk?
All right, man. I ain't watched the show in a while, man. I caught that COVID, man. I was sick, man.
Oh, man.
I was in the hospital, man. But
man,
yeah,
I'm glad you're doing better,
that.
brother. That's all that matters. I'm glad you're doing better.
Oh yeah. But I wanted to say, only thing I want to ask about, man, really is, what happened to McFadden? Because I ain't been really able to keep up on it, man. And that would be a good 1-2 punch, man. The quickness, and put him in after Najee Harris. And also say that I agree with you, man, that Cam Hayward is the epitome of what Steelers, were built on. He reminds you of the old Steelers. The attitude he has, man, as far as taking up for the team, looking out for the players, but also putting them in their place. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say, man. Thanks for taking my call.
Man, no problem at all, man. Black Hawk, man, we definitely happy to hear that you're doing well, man. Sad to hear that you had to go through that. But, man, it makes me feel a lot better to hear you back here. You're doing well, so God bless you, man. But McFarland, he had been injured. He had been battling some injuries. He has been active for the last about a month or so. For whatever reason, he hadn't been as active on game day. But finally, we starting to get him in. He had a play or two, maybe a little more than that in this Sunday's game. But I don't know, man. He just hasn't been. He's had a stint of bad luck, in my opinion. The offensive line just hasn't been great for him. And last year in his rookie season, and he's not getting as many opportunities this year. But I still think that McFarland could be something. Like you said, a change of pace. I really feel like, and I really wish that it would be McFarland more instead of continuing to bring. No disrespect to Snell, because actually, man, if we being honest, Snell hasn't done bad when he's had to come in and spell. Najee picking up a few yards here, a few yards there. Kalen Ballage, few yards here, few yards there. But honestly, I would rather it just be the 1-2. Why is McFarland not getting those carries? And we just have a 1-2 punch. And then when you need a ground and pound, then you go to get Snell or Ballage. I don't know. That's the one thing I would question, especially since Canada is familiar with him. But, maybe it's something that we don't know about. Area code 412. That's a Pittsburgh person. What you got for us?
Hello?
Yeah, what's going on?
What's going on, man? This is Cup Boy 412. I'm just calling. I don't understand how SteelersNation, we get mad about how the Steelers never make any moves and we don't do this and do that. And now we're seeing the results of what happened when we traded for Minka, we traded for Devin Bush. It takes away draft picks. So
yeah,
there's not a lot of players that we normally would have because we draft and develop. And it's like we're expecting players that's fourth-round picks and undrafted guys to come in and do jobs that they really can't do. And another thing, I was more excited for a future thinking we had Bush, Watt, and Minka. Now it's starting to feel like only Minka and Watt will be there for the future because, that's three cornerstones. I feel like, if we build some around them, we'll be better. We'll be back in it. But losing Bush, that's like another hole. And then Cam's getting older. So that's also another hole. We don't know what's going on to it. So I don't know where we are. I'm looking forward to the offseason. I'm looking at draft picks, man. But that's it, man.
I'm with you, Cup Boy, man. Appreciate the call. But, some people might not want to hear it. But I was telling Kenyon and Tony, I'm looking forward to the rebuild, man. We there. We're there. Whether y'all want to acknowledge it or not. That's where we at. That's where we at. Look around. Look around the division. Again, it's not the poo-poo on Ben Roethlisberger, but come on, man. It is time for us to the next era has to start now. Man, that could be in a lot of positions. Because like you said, man, our dog is getting older. Cam Hayward probably got a few left. Yeah, man. It's one of those situations, bro. The dark days. Area code 937. What you got for us?
What's up, Sam?
Hey, what's going on?
What up, my brother? This your brother from 937. Man, I'm pissed off.
What you got?
You got to understand, man, my brother. Geographically, man, we're in Dayton, Ohio. Cincinnati is 50 miles south.
Oh, yeah.
Cleveland is like 200 miles north. But for some reason, because of our culture, we Steelers fans here in Dayton. For the majority, you come to Dayton, Ohio, bro, you're going to see all kind of Steelers stuff. You hear me? So one loss we do not like is when we lose to them doggone Bengals, man. Oh, I'm pissed, man. Look, man, check this out. I got some stats for you, man. We haven't lost to the Bengals in that fashion since 1989. And guess what? It was the same score, 41-10. Look it up. It's going to trip you out, man.
Wow.
Then they went, they defeated the Super Bowl to play the 49ers, and they lost. All right? So, man, hey, man, I'm hurting over here, bro. Here, I might ask you to help me tonight. You know, it's just terrible, man. Here's my thing, man. You're in the NFL. We all know the problem, man. Not being able to stop the run. Look, Sam, I'd rather get burnt on a deep ball than not be able to stop the run. Me as a Steelers fan. We take pride in that. We're Steelers. That pisses me off, especially against the Bengals, man. All you got to do is get mad. I remember one game, man, these cats started doubling me, man. And they called me out of my name, okay? I'm going to be nice. I ain't going to say what they said. And I got through that line and sacked that quarterback. I was pissed. Get mad. Have some Steelers pride, doggone it. You are a Pittsburgh Steeler. Do you know what this means? Defense is what we do. I don't care if you the 7th round draft pick. You better doggone it. Put your heart in it. Because I'm going to tell you something. Heart makes up for a lot of skill if you really got heart.
Oh,
you
yeah.
show me some heart, you young boys, man. I wish I could get in that locker room, Sam. I'd light them up. Sam. I'm pissed today. I'm a pissed off Steelers fan, but I'm Steelers for life. You said, would a real Steelers fan stand up? Yeah, I'm standing up right now talking to you. Them boys need to get mad. Doggone it. You pissed me off. It's like you talk about my mama. My mama passed away. Oh, I don't care if you're 350 pounds and 6'7". I'm gonna whoop your ass, whoop your butt some kind of way.
Yeah.
Come on now. There's a certain thing of will and desire. You got to get mad and get angry. You got to want it. But with the exception of Cam Hayward, that defensive line, man, it was so embarrassing, man. But I still wore my Steelers with pride. But it was very embarrassing, man. I got to leave it there. Oh, last I'm going to leave on a good note, man. Hey, man, check out that olive oil, extra virgin, light olive oil. Put that on your skin, brother. Because the lotion just hit the epidermis, the top layer. But the olive oil soaks all the way through. And I'm telling you, the ladies love it.
You know, the funny thing is,
man, trying to make you smile, brother.
My wife got a bottle of that she used. So all I got to do is go in her bathroom and use it.
Man, it's good on black people's skin, man.
Right.
I'm just saying, check it out, man. And I'm gonna leave with a smile, man. And thanks for accepting my call, man. We love you down here. We got some ladies that's gonna be coming through too, man. I'll holler at you.
Oh man, that's what's up, man. I appreciate it, brother. Great call, man. And the people love you, man. If you look at the chat, you're becoming one of them. And I agree with you wholeheartedly, man. Just like what Ryan Clark was saying. You know, I had got on Ryan Clark a little bit earlier in the season, but Ryan Clark hit it right on the money. That man said, that ain't my defense I'm looking at. And Cam Hayward said it too. Cam Hayward sat there in his press conference and said there's a standard that was set by people before us. You put on that uniform, you have to uphold that standard. Even think about when Mike Tomlin got hired. Remember what he said in his press conference? Pittsburgh Steelers, run the football, stop the run. That don't change. I don't care if it is a cute game right now. That don't change. That don't change. So, yeah, man, they got to find a way to get back to that. Got to find a way. All right, man, next caller, area code 973. What you got for us? Hello.
Oh, you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, I got just two things for you, Sim. the Pittsburgh Steelers, I just want to know your opinion. I believe we dropped the ball because as a Steelers fan, you telling me we bringing Big Ben at 39 years old back, that we still have a chance of winning the Super Bowl. But if we got a rookie left tackle, a rookie center, it's just like, to me, it's just like it's defeating the purpose. Because with the defense that we had before Tuitt and Tyson Alualu got hurt, the defense could carry, hold their own. Ben still can make throws, but I just believe they dropped the ball on the offensive side with the offensive line, especially with somebody like Ben that can't get out of the pocket like he used to and throw down the field. And then you got to remember, too, like Cam Hayward, like I respect Cam. I played against his father in Passaic High School. His father was a beast. When they said the fruit don't fall from the tree, Ironhead Hayward, I see it in him. So, man, I just think I just like to know your opinion on that. And you have a good night, brother.
Man, thank you for the call, man. And you said it all. It's kind of one of those things, man. It's hard to accept as fans, man, but the writing was almost on the wall, man. And I say almost because there was a chance that the Steelers could have did enough. And who knows what happens in the rest of the season. I don't think they pull it out. But the writing was on the wall. Roethlisberger coming back. Reconstructed line. Rookie left tackle. Rookie center. And literally a rookie because he barely played center in college. Second-year man in Kevin Dotson. Trey Turner, which career has been up and down. You bring him in to start at right guard. I mean, the offensive line is completely different. You lose pieces on defense. I mean, we seeing what we supposed to see, honestly. And again, I still think it's talent enough to win some of these games in the division. I think the Ravens and the Browns, and we beat the Browns already, but y'all, you know what I'm saying? I don't think the Ravens are unbeatable. However, don't know how good I feel about this game Sunday, but I will talk about that on the pregame. Next up, area code. Let me see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more calls in the queue, guys. I'm only going to take these last 5. So if you're listening, I'm going to end it with 6, 7, 8. First up, area code 505. What you got for us?
Hey, what's up, Sim? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, so I have 2 things, okay? Number 1. So we draft great wide receivers, but at the same time, they're all stupid as hell, okay? Hear me out. Martavis Bryant, he smoked his whole career away like a blunt, okay?
Yeah.
Antonio Brown loses his damn mind. And now we got Chase Claypool talk about playing music in practice when we're playing like crap. And the second thing, this Sunday I will be attending my first Pittsburgh game all the way from Albuquerque, New Mexico. I am excited. That's all I got, Tim. Thank you.
Oh, man, I hope you bring some good luck to the boys from Albuquerque, New Mexico, man. Listen, you're attending your first game. I hope you're still on to hear this. You are going to love it. There's nothing like feeling that energy of being at the game of the team that you love. It's just a different experience. It is a different experience when you're at that stadium. You're just around the city. You're seeing all of that Pittsburgh fans everywhere. You're going to love it. Like I said, pro tip, park. I don't know the means that you're traveling. I'm sure you're flying over, I'm guessing. But as far as when you get there, maybe you're doing an Uber, so it won't matter. But if you by any chance have a rental car or something like that, do not park near the stadium. Go to one of the surrounding stations. I think the one I usually go to is North Avenue. And you guys that are from Pittsburgh in here, confirm that name for me. Park at that garage. Ride the train. The train is free to the stadium. It's free on game day. And there you have it. Easy peasy. You get right off at North Shore, I think it is. It's right by the stadium. But, if you're doing an Uber situation, then that works too. But you're going to love it, man. But yeah, I don't know what's up with them wideouts, man. It just seems like some weird stuff be happening, right? I mean, people like to, pick on Juju for doing his TikTok stuff, but I'm cool with that. All that other stuff, AB and Martavis, and I'm not gonna dump on Claypool too tough, man. I don't know if I'm hoping he didn't mean that sincerely, but I'm with you though. Next up, area code 937. What you got for us?
What's happening? Man,
What's
first
going on?
of all, I gotta speak on Adidas Quali with that fake story, just like the fake Dwayne Haskins story. She can miss me with that because we already know Mike Tomlin, he half took over play calling, sometimes, you know what I'm saying? But for real, it don't matter who's calling the plays because these guys is bums. Other than TJ, Minka, and my man Hayward. Them other cats, they flat out trash. I mean, no, you can't stop the run. And I don't even know, we can't even evaluate. I heard y'all talking about coverage and we don't get coverage, guys. If you're a cornerback, you can cover. We don't play coverage. Steelers do not play coverage defense. It seems like every third down, especially third and longs, how's the receiver wide open with 4 to 5 Steelers around them. And nobody within arm reach. The receiver catches the ball and can make a football move or two. With that many, it's this whack zone that's getting played that I don't even understand why they stay in it. You know what I'm saying? It makes absolutely no sense. Our defense looks like hot garbage because it really is outside of our 3-star players. I mean, them other guys are really useless. And Devin Bush, I'm beyond the mental. The boy he garbage. He needs to go to he needs to go to counseling, man. He needs to sit down and go to counseling and get his mind right. Physically, he's there. He works out. They see him running. They see him cutting. They know what he can do. Mentally, he done checked out and he needs to check out. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I'm not so sold on Schober getting in there because he's getting toasted. He's missing tackles. Did you see him bust up through the hole in this last game and just totally missed the tackle, grabbed the guy by the ankle and couldn't even stop the guy from getting in the end zone? Schober is a bum just like all the other bums out there besides our 3-star players. That's it.
Man, appreciate the call and appreciate the passion there, man. Hey, man, I mean, it's hard to argue, I mean, whether you guys in the chat believe or agree with 937 or not, it's hard to argue that anyone else on the team is really playing great. And, I know we lost to it. We lost Alu, which is huge. But yeah, man, it's hard to look at, and Devin Bush, like I said, and you guys know why I'm sticking to not throwing him out yet. I give every player that 3 years. The 3 years is it for me. Some people are going to say, well, he's in his third year. But no, he didn't play last season. He played a couple games. So if we stuck it out with Bud Dupree, then you see what I'm saying? Because I can't say Devin Bush was a bum his rookie season. I can't say that. And I keep having that conversation with myself. Did I think that? Now, maybe some of you guys think that. I'm just speaking from my perspective. I didn't think that about Devin Bush rookie season. So I have to shoot him a little bit of bail and say, dog, it's something going on post-injury. Now, if it continues, if you're seeing the same thing next season, training camp, preseason, we'll see it. Yeah, okay. Now, but I have to believe that it has something to do with him getting injured, messing with his mentals or whatever. I'm going to give him the chance to rebound. I wouldn't be mad if we replace him now, but I'll give him that final season or what have you to rebound like I do every other player 3 years playing. So that's just my opinion. Area code 202, what you got for us?
Yes, Sam. Yeah, I was calling, wanted to piggyback off of what you said about Devin Bush is the first point I want to make. I think we do need to give him another season because he didn't play the whole entire season last year. And also, he did play pretty well up until the injury that he suffered against Tennessee.
Yeah.
And significantly enough, Tennessee is still haven't seen the productivity from, Bud, coming back from his injury. So, yeah, I think we need to calm down on the Bush thing. We're just not going to do it this year. Let's come to realization of that, and we'll see what happens next year. The other thing is that I kind of get really picky on words. I know that the cliche is the next man up, but they're not the man. What I mean is not by the gender. What I mean by it is that they're not the man. They're not that dog who can play that position like the starters that they lost, like Tuitt. We're missing him. He won't be coming back this year. So we just got bodies. We don't have people that actually put in the time in the position. So, you got to have that 53-man roster, but we don't have the roster as depth-wise to make up for the loss. So what we're seeing is the epitome of is a lost season because we don't have the bodies. With all these injuries and everything else in between and Ben coming back and playing like he does, I knew that it was a fluke off of the previous game with the Chargers because we've never been a explosive offense the whole season. So why would we lose one game as that? So we got the reality out of that. So the truth came out just 1 week after. So I'm sure we need to get spoiled of that. So the reality is this season's loss, you said it at the post game, is over. Because the reality side is over because we don't have the dogs to put in play. So let's enjoy March and April and look for the future. That's all I have.
Man, that's a great point that you make there, man. That's a fantastic point. Like you said, it's a cliche statement, next man up. But sometimes you ain't got that next man to be up. That is a fact, man. And of course, that's the culture that you preach. You're gonna preach that as the coach. Of course, that's what you want, right? Ain't that what we want, folks? Because people always say, oh, the culture and all of that. But wouldn't you rather it be a coach? And not saying 202 this ain't directed at you. I'm just saying in general to everyone who, blames everything on all of the coaches and the coaching staff. And I want that culture that they think, nah, we supposed to be solid 53-man deep. But 202 is correct. Sometimes that next man ain't there. And sometimes it's a jag. He's just a guy. So, like you said, man, let's just hey, we can continue to root for our team. I'm going to be rooting, pulling for them for this week. Hopefully they can get a win. But at this point, man, like I said, I'm going to enjoy watching this rebuild and seeing where the team goes, man. This is a new era that's starting. So, yeah. Last call of the night, man. Area code 678. What you got for us?
Thanks a lot for taking my call, Sim.
Yes,
I'll be
sir.
real fast. This is Todd Christian. This is Todd Christian from Atlanta. My stance on the team hasn't changed. We're only 2.5 games out of first place. Yes, we have a young squad, but in 2004, I think that team got counted out too. What happened? They ain't have no offensive line. Defensive line wasn't all that great either. I don't know I think Carrier was on that team and Simmons, so there's some better linebackers. But nevertheless, though, what I'm trying to get at is I'm just like that old school Giants coach. I'm putting all my chips on the table. We are going to the playoffs and the big dance this season. Because I just have that confidence in this team and in the Steelers organization. That's what I mean. I have confidence in the Steelers organization. No one expected us to go in 2005. And we have a young team, and I feel as though we're going to get it together. We're only 2.5 games out of first place. It's not really. Everybody's like, the season's over. Like, season ain't over. We still got a whole bunch of games left.
Yeah.
And we're only 2.5 games out of first place. That's just my opinion on the situation. You know what I'm saying? I want to be long because I want you to start charging us the call. So thanks for taking my call. I'll talk to you next week.
Yes, sir, man. My man Todd from ATL. Appreciate you, buddy. And listen, I love the enthusiasm too, man. Who knows? You know what, Todd? That's the funny thing, right? What if we make the playoffs and we do? I'm gonna look forward to your call because you've been saying you stuck with it. I'm gonna look forward to you being like, I told you, Sim. You gotta have faith. So, yeah, man. Listen, the beauty of it is they got what 4 divisional games left. That's the crazy thing. Now, I'm not saying I'm just saying, what if they messed around and won those 4? Because if you think about it, we got 6 games left, I think, right? What's this, week 12? Yeah, we got 6 games. So the Steelers got to go 5-1 or no worse than 4-2, I think, to make the playoffs. But who knows? It would be funny if they messed around and made it, but yeah. Yeah, man. I see a lot of comments in here. People, listen, like I said, guys, do like the approach I'm taking now. Don't argue someone's opinion about the head coach. You know, it is what it is. It's when people just don't. It is what it is. I can't change your opinion. Because you always see people say stuff about what players but look at all of the great players the Steelers have had in his era. And it's like for every bad player, you can find a great draft pick. And you can say the same thing about every coach in the league. There's been great picks. There's been not so great picks. So it always trips me up when fans try to argue that kind of stuff. Like, come on, man. Nobody has any control over, it's all projections. But if you're going to blame a coaching staff or coaching, their regime on bad picks, but look at how many good picks there were made. So it's that battle, there's no way to win that for either way. You can say, oh, here was the good, here's the bad. But yeah, man, I can take the headphones off now. That was the last call of the night. Appreciate y'all. Y'all see how quick we got through that? And that was a bunch of calls. That was well over 10 calls. 313, not going to be able to get to you tonight, man. I'll make sure I get you next time. Hopefully you can call in a little earlier. But I wanted to wrap up the show with this, guys, before I go to the comments. Listen. The Devin Bush thing, I just think fans, we're not always fair to players. We expect players to be all-stars their very first season. That's how a lot of fans view it. And I'm generalizing that, but you know what I'm saying? The majority of fans, like I always say, they highlight watchers. If a guy ain't making a play in this game, he's a bum. But they don't watch the totality of the game. Again, I'm not going to argue the opinion of Devin Bush. I have been advocating for us to do something different this season. Throw somebody else in there. Let's see what they can do. Maybe they can do something, maybe they can't. But if Devin Bush is absolutely 100% hurting the team right now, so it's probably time to sit him down. Again, for everybody who wants to blame Mike Tomlin or blame Keith Butler for not doing anything, they pulled him. Remember, Devin Bush got pulled very early in that game. Kudos for that. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to give him a chance next year. Like, what? So you're asking the organization to cut ties with a number one, a draft pick, first round draft pick that they moved up to taking the 10th spot. And see, this is where all of the on the couch GMs are going to come into play now, because now they're going to say, you never should have picked him. Dog, it's so many players you can say that about. It's always projections, right? You're asking an organization to cut ties, like, because people ain't saying just to bench him. They like, get rid of him, cut him. He's a bum. You're asking an organization to cut ties with the guy that they moved up and took in the first round, and he's struggling, in the very next season coming off of a ACL injury. Whether it's all physical or all mental, doesn't matter. It's the fact that he's struggling after coming off of that, who had a productive rookie season, who was playing pretty well to begin last season before going down early in the season. You're asking an organization from a business standpoint to cut that guy. That makes no sense at all. It's not going to happen. That's what I'm saying. You can think that, but that ain't going to happen. What makes you think that's going to happen? And that's why I be saying we got to be more practical and more realistic. You can feel how you feel about them, but to continue to spew that, to say, oh man, they're stupid if they don't, they're not going to do that. I don't think you would do that from a business standpoint. Why? Because no one wants to admit or accept that an investment didn't work. Nobody wants to admit that. As a business, you're going to try to get what you can get. Point blank, period. Same thing with Mike Tomlin. I don't care if you like him or not. For all of you guys that keep saying he needs to be fired and I'm glad he's going to be gone next year, I'm sorry to disappoint you. He's not getting fired. Whether this means anything to you personally or not, the facts are this head coach, again, I don't care what your opinion is on how it happened and if it matters, it doesn't matter. I don't care about any of that. Let's just go with facts. There's no way on earth that a head coach that has never suffered under 500 season will have one losing season. Let's just assume season is a loss this year. After his first losing season, he's fired. Where they do that at? Now, some of these silly organizations have done that, but we're talking about our Pittsburgh Steelers, the team that we love, the culture that we've grown accustomed to, the stability. Y'all really think that's happening? So my point is, you can feel that way, but why do you say it so much as if it's actually going to happen? And then when it doesn't happen, you spend the entire season saying that. You know how this team works if you are a fan. And it's not about comparisons. But they didn't fire Bill Cowher when he had losing seasons. So why do you think all of a sudden they're going to do that to Tomlin? It makes no sense, Steelers fans. So can we move past that? Yes, you can not like him. Yes, you can critique him every week. But can we move past that silly discussion of, I hope they fire him this year? It's not going to happen. I hate to be the one to say that to you. I'm so sorry. But it's not going to happen. It's pointless. So why don't we talk about real stuff? Why don't we talk about the way we want to see this team develop and what we hope we do in the draft and things like that, and who and this is the stuff maybe we can start talking about, and I can fill these shows after the season, things we can start talking about, who on the team that we still have high hopes for, and how do you think we fill this position when this guy retires, all of that type of stuff, the real stuff that we can see with our own eyes, instead of coming up with these mystic things that we know is not going to happen from a business standpoint. I just don't understand it. Y'all baffle me, man. I'm telling you. You baffle me. And then also, I saw a comment earlier. I wanted to mention this as well. Where is it? Let me see if I can find it. It was from, I think, what's his name? Donald Loudenback. He says, something to the effect, can you honestly see hold on, I gotta find it because I want to read the actual comment. Give me a second. Because this is what I'm saying. These comments like these are weighted, right? Where is it? These are weighted comments, man. If I can't find it soon, I'll just paraphrase it. Where is it, man? I can't find it. He basically said something to the effect of can you look at this team and see progression or something like that over the next 5+ years? Like looking at this team, where do you see growth? Something like that. But, buddy, I have to challenge that and say 5+ years? I mean, you're not accounting for free agency or anything. Like, what NFL team can you look at and say they're going to be great for the next 5+ years? You said 5+. So you're talking like 6, 7. What team can you do that with today that you know they're going to? I mean, you can make a guesstimation. You can say, oh, the Chiefs should be all right for the next few because they got that quarterback. They build pieces around them, give them enough offense. Yeah, you can say that about certain teams that got a franchise quarterback. Maybe. But that's still hard to predict. 5+ years in today's NFL with free agency? You see what I'm saying? That's weighted. That is a weighted comment when you're trying to throw that on the current regime of the Steelers. As far as that being on. All right. But, and you know, Donald, that's your opinion. Have at it. You know, I'm not going to argue you about how you feel about whether Tomlin is good or not. I really don't. I don't care to change anyone's mind about how they feel about anything. So that's how you feel. We appreciate you sharing your comment. Round of applause to Mariano Pampa. He says, bet money those same couch GMs were upset about Steelers giving up a first round for Minka. Shake my head. I don't know how you do it, Sim, with the highlight watching comments. Thanks for the great content as always. Hey, man, listen, I elected to put myself in this, it's no real position, but I elected to do this. It's really no big deal, man. I just read them. I appreciate them. I respect them. And at the same time, sometimes it's entertainment, man, because some of the comments be so outlandish. But anyway, guys, did I cover everything I said I wanted to cover? Because I can't remember. It was something I said I was going to cover at the... Oh, I got it. I remember. Let's talk about Aditi. Again, all due respect to her. You know, I think she's just one of those journalists that's just trying to find something. But where I would challenge Aditi is, I find that funny, Aditi, that you didn't... If you uncovered some dirt and then you go into the room with him today and you don't ask, I don't respect that. Because a journalist, a cutthroat journalist or whatever, they unsurface, you know, they surface some dirt or they uncover some dirt, and then when they in front of you, they ask you about it. How do you miss the opportunity to say, hey, it was brought to my attention that Keith Butler does not call the defense and has not since he's been here. How do you miss the opportunity to ask the man that question when he's in your face, even if you think he's lying? You know what happens when you ask somebody something on the spot? They don't have the ability to scurry away or keep it in a tuck or keep the poker face. Some people can, but that's when you do it. So you back them in a corner. You don't mention it? And what about the rest of you reporters? You don't mention that? There was a little story out there. Y'all don't mention that. But let me tell y'all how significant that is if it was true. Then guess where my blame is at? For all of the stuff you've ever heard me say about Keith Butler, I would transfer every one of those, pick them up, pack them here, and throw them into Mike Tomlin's office and say, now you answer these questions. Because I am not biased. That's why I often say Keith Butler and Mike Tomlin, because we all have seen with our own eyes. It does seem like Tomlin from time to time puts his input in. But I think us watching the game has also seen, looks like Keith Butler is calling the defense. So do I believe that what? Didi, what? What? I don't believe that at all. Why is he on the staff? Even though we all know why he's there. most of us know the truth, right? And even Art Rooney and them, they wouldn't have made all that fuss and keeping him around and kicking Dick LeBeau, kind of moving Dick LeBeau along to keep Butler. Why would they keep him around and allow him to be the DC? Okay, let's go with the theory. Why would the Rooneys, who obviously were in favor of Keith Butler and, Kevin Colbert more than likely, why would they allow Mike Tomlin to not let him call defense? Think about that. For all of the geniuses out there, why would they allow that? Do you think that man would not be disgruntled and he wouldn't go up to the head man and say, hey, man, they ain't letting me do nothing down there? Think about that for 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Use this. Don't speculate. Use the common sense. Do you think that would fly if that was the case? Why would Colbert, who... I guess Colbert kind of helps hire coaches. I don't know. But why would Art Rooney allow that if that's Art Rooney's guy? Think about it. I don't understand it. Yeah, Donald, you got a serious bone that you want to pick, but okay. I will only reply to your other comments because, like I said, I can't... you're welcome to whatever, even if someone was in here saying how much they love him. It's nothing for me to say. But, like I said, I try to speak in things that we can see. Of course, all coaches have issues that we can point at. But, again, as far as that defense thing, I don't get it. I don't get it. That makes zero sense to me. And like I said, Aditi just seems to be that type of person that likes to scare you up issues, man. But whatever. But all right, man, let's keep it moving. I'll sit here about 5 minutes or so, man, answer some questions, read some comments. Rad Rob says Butler kept Mike Tomlin. Randy Fichtner and Butler was together at Arkansas State. How did Butler keep Mike Tomlin? Confused by that. I think you might have that the other way around. But yeah, I understand your point, though. Debbie says, and Lord knows Butler should be gone. Yeah, and like I said, if the story was true, then I'm pointing this right here is going right at Mike Tomlin. Yup says, anybody bringing up race in this conversation does not understand football. Yeah, man, that's why sometimes I let those things fly. I don't even pay attention to it. It just... because it ain't always that. And that's on both sides of the table. It's not always that. But ever since homeboy, I forget who he was, it's not important, but ever since the dude accused me of that on one of them shows saying, oh, last week, remember, if it was a white coach, like, what? You kidding me? What are you talking about? Like, where does that, again, when you say stuff like that, it only shows where you are mentally, not me. As much as I love and praise Bill Cowher, like it's like I said, when you bring up a comment like that, it shows where you are at mentally, not me. Let's see what else we got. Leonard Green says, YZ250, what do you mean? If you're trying some slick talk, you get the middle finger. Uh-oh. Hold on, what did he say? What did he say? Where's YZ? Ooh, Jesus. You know what? YZ250, I'm going to give you 2 seconds to explain that comment. Because if you don't explain that, or if you explain it the way you intended, I'm getting you up out of here. We ain't, there's no place for that. That's a very general statement. That ain't even, ain't no place for that. And the funny thing about that, you know what? I'm going to leave that alone. But I want you guys to, everybody go read YZ250's comment. Wow. That's where we going? Y'all say he's gone. Okay. Wow. That's crazy. Because, for all that, again, I love all people. But if y'all know I'm always going to keep it a buck. To say that, when you look at sports, I mean, you talking 60, 70%, 80% in some sports. So what are you really talking about? Let's see. Debbie says, I hope somebody who calls themselves a reporter brings up the question back up next week. Don't let that statement sit out there untouched. Yes, Debbie, this is what I'm saying. And I'm looking at Aditi. If somebody happens to share this with you, I'm talking to you. How do you not ask that question in person? You uncover it, you allow it to surface on Twitter, you're in there with him, and dog, that's journalism 101. You gotta ask you have to ask that question because you're the one bringing it up. So you have to sit in it and say, hey, I got a question. I heard, is that true? And if come on, man, a real reporter gonna do that. A real reporter does that. And I'm not saying she's not a real reporter, but come on, you got to do that. Steelers Freak says, if the Chin was coach right now, I would give him heat too. The team needs a real playoff run. Yeah, man, and that's the thing, Steelers Freak. That's the thing. And it's sad that we even got to have that conversation. That should not even matter. It shouldn't even matter. Like, I think all of us real fans appreciated Cowher, appreciate Tomlin. Even the stuff that you don't like about either. You have to appreciate what they did. Y'all telling me you ain't want to burn a hole in Cowher's head when he lost the AFC Championship games? Yeah, but you still liked him. I mean, he still was a good coach, man. Like, so it just always kills me when the comparison is always thrown out there. And in some scenarios, if you're being honest, Cowher had worse situations in terms, but then they always want to find the excuse. Oh, well, he didn't have Ben for so long. Well, how many of those runs did Ben win on his arm? People forget about the defense was number one, number two for the longest time, and we were a ground and pound type of team. And then they want to say, oh, but that wasn't his players he won with. I don't care. Dog, you don't win the Super Bowl when you did it, and you don't go back to the Super Bowl when you did it if you're not a coach of men. Like, come on. A guy who can't coach, because we all have seen horrible coaches on both sides of the spectrum. A guy who cannot coach at all does not go this long without having a season under 500. I'm not saying, I'm just keeping it general. I'm not saying he's great. I'm not saying he's horrible. I'm just saying, come on, man. Y'all got to stop that. But anyway, a couple more comments, man. What we got? I don't know what y'all are talking about now with Donald. Y'all into some other stuff. Marlon Master says, ignore the fools. They want us to respond. Don't give them satisfaction. That's true. But, I try to be fair, man, on the show. I give everybody a platform to speak until they get out, out of character, when they start doing ridiculous stuff. Football Mind says, it sounds like you would pick half of the NFL's current coaches over Tomlin. What don't you particularly like about him? I think that question is to Donald Louderman. Donald Louderback. Here we go. Is it Nichelle? Nia Shell says, I'll take Mike Tomlin over Matt Nagy. He takes accountability and stand by players. I don't want to understand the whys with Nagy. Yeah. Nagy having a tough go of it, man. Marlon Masters said a lesser coach and we would be 1-8. I'm just saying, man, listen. It's one of these things where, rightfully so, you can be upset. You can be upset about the coach. You can not like things about your current head coach. That's fine. But I just think people go too far when they try to act as if he's not and never has been a good coach. I just don't. I don't understand that, man. I just don't. Here we go. Why Diggy, man? Thank you for the donation, brother. It's always special. I gotta say this for you guys that are extended members of the channel. You know, who's paying a monthly membership fee and you donate. That just, you have no idea how much that means to me, man. Round of applause. Why Diggy says lack of cap plus lack of depth plus gambles that didn't pay off, lack of execution by the players, lack of certain adjustments equals 2021. There you go. And that is a fair assessment. And that includes players and coaches on certain levels. So there it is. Dominique Souli says, I like Cower for the discipline he had with the players. You never saw any BS with Cower. I liked Cower too for his discipline, but see, people seem to think that or act as if Mike Tomlin isn't disciplined. Listen, I would recommend you guys watch all of those like excerpts that you see, like this sounds of the game and all. Watch that kind of stuff. And any footage that you can see of him in action during the game and how he holds players. I think people would have a different opinion. Not comparing him and Cowell. Like I said, I like them both. But it has been times I've been in conversations, even with my father-in-law, Leonard. He said before, Tomlin don't talk to the players. I'm like, are you crazy? He be in their ear on the side. Like, go watch some of that stuff that you don't see during the game. Find all of that footage. And I think you guys will start to maybe say, oh, I didn't realize he does more talking and motivating than most of you guys would think. I mean, one of the easiest things to watch is like the sounds, what is it, sound effects or whatever they call it. But there's a lot of footage out there like that of things that he says during game and all of that. And I think people that thought he wasn't that way will start to say, oh, okay, he's more of a discipline or engaging more than I thought, which is fair. We don't always get to see this from coaches. We don't always get to see it. You know, you don't always see that interaction unless the camera pans over there. But yeah, because again, people have told me that, though, man, he doesn't talk to the players. And I'm like, huh? So I don't know. What up, Donald? Listen, man, like I said, don't ask me no more questions about it. Okay? Now, I'm saying that. Don't ask me nothing else about it. You feel a way, and I'm going to let you feel that way. I cannot say anything to make you feel any differently, nor do I care to make you feel any differently. You don't like him. Fine. That's fine with me. Keep it moving. You're never going to hear me argue with somebody that say they don't like somebody. Only time I argue or debate in favor of Mike Tomlin or any other coach on the staff is when it's stuff that people say that to me just is simply not true. Like when people say he's a soft head coach, I'm like, I don't think y'all really pay attention. But as far as your opinion about the man, I do not care. Hey, Destiny, what's going on, Destiny? Thank you, Miss Lady, for coming through, man. Always good to see you. Let's read one more comment, man. Let's read two more. We're going to do Dwayne Williams and Lydell Dorsey, and then I'm shutting us down. Well, let's do three, because I didn't read my man Daryl Dukes tonight either. So we'll read these three. Looks like they're all in regards to the losing seasons and Tomlin. So it was a good way to end it. Daryl Duke says, Tomlin is one of the best coaches in the NFL. If the Steelers let him go, he would be picked up quick by another team, like the Lions, have one of the highest winning percentages in the game. Some of these stuff, listen, like I said, this is not a debate on whether you like him or don't. But certain things like that, you can't refute. You can't refute. Whatever. Dwayne Williams. I remember when we went 6-10 with Tommy Maddox. We had winning seasons after that. I'm okay with a rebuilding year. We were blessed as fans. Yes, man. That's what I'm saying. I'm embracing. Listen, let's be completely honest. All right. Just to go back to Tomlin really quick. Dog, you look up and it's 15 years later and there hasn't been not one losing season. Like, that don't happen. And whether you want to give him credit or not, I'm just talking about as a fan base. As a fan, think about it. The Ravens went 5-11 one year. And funny thing is they beat us that year. But don't y'all think that's kind of crazy that has not happened to our team in 15 years? That's not normal. Again, whoever you want to give the credit to is up to you. But I think what Tomlin in some people's mind don't do is amplified more because you're so used to winning, if that makes sense. I think that's really what it is. But like I said, I don't care if you like them or not. But some of these claims that you guys make, you don't even realize that you're going right back to the last coach that did the same thing. And then the excuses come out. Lydell Dorsey says, with all due respect, Coward team didn't have social media. He had men locker room who held themselves accountable. We have a young team with a crucial lack of enforcers on the current team. Yeah, and listen, that's a fair point. You know, it's a fair point. And there's a lot of things that we could say as to why we think the team isn't what it is. A lot of things. And it has been unfortunate. You know, Mike Tomlin, like I have been preaching, it'd be different if I was one of the people that think he can't do no wrong. I have been saying for a while now that playoff record is something to look at over the last, 8 years. Yeah, that is a fair critique. Absolutely fair critique. But I just don't believe you consistently get to the playoffs. I don't believe you have back-to-back 12-4 teams and stuff like that if you are an incompetent coach. I just don't think it's humanly possible. I just don't think it's possible, bro. And like my boy Cutboy just said, it's a different era. Like that's what we forget, because ain't nobody Chuck Noll. But how bad was Chuck Noll's records until they went on that run? So, but all right, man. Like I said, have you guys' opinions, please. Please have your opinions. I gotta read my brother Tony's comment, right? Tony says Ryan Clark is right about the team because he is used to a physical team. Absolutely correct. And he says, however, about Tomlin, Sim is correct. Just saying, man. Yeah, 3 playoff wins in 10 years. It's not, and that's the thing. As long as we are grabbing tangible things to critique, I have no problem with that. I just don't understand. And again, I don't care, but I will never understand the blatant hate for the coach. I don't understand it. Look around the league. Look around the league. But all right, man. I'm about to be up out here. This is what I need y'all to do for me. If you like what I do over here, consider subscribing. If you are subscribed, you got to cut on that notification bell, because how else would you know if I got a video out? How would you know? Because I look at I look at the analytics. It's a lot of people who are subscribed. But a lot of people probably don't have that notification bell on. And there's a lot of people who do watch every week, but you're not subscribed. What sense does that make? Come on, man. You're following me or you're not. And then also, if you like what you saw tonight, show me. All you have to do is hit that little thing that looks like that. A thumb up. That's all you have to do. If you dislike what I said, because you know what? You ain't made it unless people don't like it. Show me that too. I don't care. Outside of that, man, I will catch you guys later in the week, Friday or Saturday. Y'all know I never commit to the day, but the pregame show will be coming your way. And if there's any breaking news to talk about, such as the TJ Watt situation when I did the little video yesterday, I'll come your way with that as well. But outside of that, man, you will definitely see me, well, more than likely see me for the pregame. And of course, you will see me for the postgame show. Hope you guys have a great rest of the night. Stay well, stay blessed, stay safe. And I'll catch you next time. Thanks for tuning in to Turbo Towel Tuesday. Peace.